So if you are part of my Skool group or you be plan to become a part of my Skool community, either the free one or the paid one, on my live calls or the Q&As, you probably heard about cost caps. This is a strategy I always talk about, and I never actually made a video on this. So I figured it's time because you've been asking for this. It's a great strategy. It's really unbelievable. It's like magical what it does to your ad accounts. And I actually have a live example here that I'll show you as a proof of concept. So I'm super excited to publish this video. And then I'm curious to hear your feedback on this because I'm really excited about this. So cost caps is basically cost per result goal. Cost cap is another name that I just use, but most often it's called cost caps. And you have to be careful. Do not confuse this with bit caps because bit cap is a hard limit and cost cap is an average. So basically, it limits your cost CPA, your cost per acquisition on your ads. So what that means is on paper, if you set your cost per result goal to let's say $40, then the average CPA on your ads is going to be around $40. So it sounds like a great strategy and the dream, because then you could think that, okay, I just start a new campaign. I'm going to send a bunch of ad spend to this. Let's say I'm going to set the ad spend at $10,000 per day, and I know I break even at $40. So I'm going to set the cost caps at $30. So I'm making a big profit, spending lots of money. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that in practice. So it's best if you are tired of meta ads randomly spiking your costs. One day your CPA is $20, the next day is 60. So we break down cost caps, when to use them and how not to use them, how not to screw it up. So yeah, as I mentioned, if used correctly, this feels like magic because when your cost caps are set to 50, Meta will aim to only spend your budget if it can get a purchase at $50. So I already talked about this. It sounds amazing. Let's just go crazy and profit, but it doesn't really work like that in practice. So as the first steps, I want to talk about when to use cost caps. So if used correctly, it's best when you already have lots of data. So at least 15 purchase on your ad set or campaign level, or you are running a new creative test with only 5 ads and you have one ad that's converting well, but after 2 weeks, CPA starts to increase, click-through rates starts increasing, and then ROAS actually drop. So that's when you can also use cost caps. Or during weekdays or periods when your conversion rate drops on your website or inside your funnel. For example, after a promo period, after Christmas or after Black Friday, or maybe after just an Easter sale or a restock on your website. Usually conversion rate drops after the initial hype is over or when ad fatigue starts to hit, but I already mentioned it in the creative test side, or you just want to better control your spend because your ad set has a high daily ad spend, let's say $500, but you don't really want to reduce the ad spend to, let's say, 200 because the brand overall is scaling. You just have a weak period, so you want to control the ad spend and avoid overspending. So technically, it's super easy to add cost caps. You just need to add it on the ad set level for the ABO campaigns. And then if you have a CBO campaign, which means campaign budget optimization, you need to set it on the campaign level. So let me actually show this. Usually in my campaigns, I use an ABO setup. So you just need to go make sure you're inside the ad set level. And then you go edit. And then you just scroll down. And then here under the conversion part, you have the data set, the conversion event, and then you have the cost per result goal. And here is when you can set it up. Currently, I have it set at $40. And then it's easy as that. So I also have a real life example. This is the ad set that I'm showing. But first, I want to explain how to use cost caps. So technically, we saw it's super easy to add. But the first step is looking at your ad set in max time frame, and then you need to find the average CPA. So let's say your ad has been running for 2 weeks. Your average CPA is around 40 to $50. Then you need to find the average. Let's say that's 45. So this can be adjusted based on your best performing ad because maybe on the ad set level, your average CPA is $50, but your winning ad on the ad level has a 40 or $25 CPA. So you can just use the CPA of your best ad, which is $25, and then you just set the cost caps either on the ad set or the campaign level. And then you need to wait a day or two because there are three options or three possible outcomes. First off, you need to see if your ads are spending at all because maybe you set the cost caps too low and Meta says you can get purchases at the current cost cap, so you're not going to spend any money. And if this is the case, you need to raise your cost caps. If you are hitting your desired ROAS, then of course no changes are required. This is the best outcome. But if your ads are still performing poorly but spending money, that means your cost caps are set too high, so you need to lower them to achieve better results. Next, let's look at a real-time example. I'm not going to walk you through this because this document is going to be shared in the classroom in my paid Skool community. Instead, I'm just going to look at the ad account and then tell you what happened exactly. So this is a partnership testing. We have a bunch of different ads inside. And we started this campaign or this ad set on August 1st. And then I added the first cost caps on August 13. So in the first, let's say 2 weeks, we had 19 purchases and the average cost per result was $55. The problem with this, we only had a 1.7x purchase ROAS. So I knew if I'm setting cost caps, I need to set a lower average. And I made some calculations and I figured $40 is going to be where we are going to make a great return, and that's going to be still an achievable CPA. And why did I think that $40 is still achievable as a CPA? Well, if we go inside the ad level and then we sort by, let's say, amount spent, we'll see that some of the ads that had the best ROAS were spending around, so this one had a 3x ROAS and a $35 CPA. This one had a $10 CPA and a 10x ROAS, and the other ones converted, but not the best really. So I set the cost caps on the day of August 13, and nothing really happened. You see, I had a weekday, only one purchase. So kind of disappointing. But if you look at the last or the next 4 days going into the weekend, so from 13 to 16, let's say, let me update the data. You'll be surprised about the results because it's like magic. In the next 4 days, the ROAS jumped above a 3x. I had 14 purchases, and the CAC was actually way below the $40 that I just set, and performance was basically amazing. Even the conversion rate and the CTRs improved just by adding cost caps. So this strategy really works. And this is the breakdown that basically I have in this step by step. So I added the $40 cost cap. Next 4 days, ROAS jumped like crazy. And what's surprising is ever since this ad set is crushing it. So if we look at the whole August, so I started testing in the first 2 weeks. Now let's add the full month of August. So these are recent ads. These are recent results. For the full month, we had 3K spent and 99 purchases at a $30 cost per purchase and over a 3x ROAS. So if you, I think this is really magical because if you were running ads, let's say after the first 2 weeks, you see I'm averaging 1.7 ROAS. These ads are not working, let's pause them. But using the cost cap strategy and just giving them one couple more days, you see these ads turned into evergreen winners, and ever since they are converting like crazy. 100 purchases, 3x ROAS, on this one ad set alone. So what you can take away from this and some best practices is that, thank you, Kevin. I'm just reading the comments. It's really crazy what happened in just 4 days after applying. And this works not only for e-commerce businesses, so selling products, it works for lead generation campaign as well. So if your cost per lead or cost per new members in your Skool group is at $25 and you set cost caps at $20, it's going to work for cost cap and lead generation as well. So some more best practices that I wanted to share is share the cost caps, set the cost caps as at a lower level than you want them to be. So let's say I set them at $40. When I set it at $40, I knew that even if I'm getting purchases at $45, that would be decent. But in this case, it turned out even better. You need to closely monitor our ad spend once you are adding the cost caps and in the following days, and ROAS as well, to see what's happening. I just want to see what happened the day after I applied cost caps. So I added at the Wednesday, the 13th, and let's see what happens on Thursday, the 14th. So I already had almost a 3x day, but only 4 purchases. And you see, I was not really spending the full budget, only $110. But the next day, ROAS improved, spend remained the same, but we were just getting lower and lower cost per purchase. So you can turn on all ads that had converted earlier inside the ad set. With cost caps, their ROAS might improve. So again, if we go back to the practical example, before the cost caps, the first 2 weeks, I had these ads that were not getting the best ROAS. These were all below the 2x benchmark. At least 2x is what we like to get. But once I added the cost caps, I actually restarted these ads because I knew they converted earlier, so why wouldn't they convert next? And you see I had those ads selected, and one and another one converted in the next 4 days. Even though they looked like losing tests earlier, they turned out to be great winners. So that's a best practice. I suggest you to have all your ads on once you add cost caps, all those ads that converted earlier. And then you can remove cost caps after the week conversion rate days are over. It's best for evergreen ads, and then ROAS usually return to the normal levels with full spend. But in this example, I still have the cost caps running because why not? Why not? It's spending a good amount of money and then it's still performing well. So last 14 days, 4x return. So I'm just going to keep them running with cost caps because it's working as is. So overall, cost caps are really a powerful strategy. And then if you are looking to learn more advanced strategies, I have these in my paid community. So this is not in my free community on Skool. I only have the meta at basics, but I have this, day parting, and some other advanced strategies, and then more Q&As in my paid community. Alright, that's all for today. But if you have any more questions regarding meta ads or high-level strategies, just let me know, comment down below the video, and I'll make sure to respond to them. Otherwise, in the description, you are going to find 2 links. The first is going to be my free Skool community. Currently, we have over 360 members, and it's the perfect place if you are just starting on your journey with meta ads on high level, and it's completely free. So you are welcome to join. It's a great community. And if you are looking for something more, there's a 14-day free trial to high level, and it's also going to give you a free access to my paid community, which is currently $47 per month. So you can grab the free trial using the link in my description, and then I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.